Good morning. To listen to while I'm in public. You're sick vlog now. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing a wonderful today. Welcome to today's video where I'm going to attempt to read for 24 hours. Now, I'm not going to be attempting 24 hours straight, okay? Because I need my beauty rest, but I actually have a 3-day weekend off from work, and so what better way to spend it than to just doing some reading time. There are some things that I do need to take care of while I'm kind of doing this challenge, so it's also going to be a reading for 24 hours / reset video. But some goals that I would like to achieve reading-wise, I do want to read one entire book this weekend. Typically, I'm a pretty slow reader to begin with, but it feels like since the new year and after the holidays and recovering from stuff, I feel like I've been reading books even slower, which again is not a bad thing. Reading is reading no matter what, right? But as you can probably see by my shelf and my TBR cart behind me, I do have quite a few books that I need to read. So I would like to at least finish one book from start to finish in this video. Like I said, I also want to do a little bit of a reset, so I would like to complete some chores, some tasks that I've kind of been putting off a little bit, and then of course complete the whole 24 hours as well. But right now it is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so we were definitely starting a lot later than I anticipated. Had a little bit of a slow morning, but that's okay. I'm gonna go grocery shopping here, and I'm gonna listen to an audiobook while I do that. I am currently listening to The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson, which with this one I only have about like 80 pages left, so I feel like I could very easily listen to this while I'm out grocery shopping and just running some errands. I obviously love Holly Jackson, love her writing. This was her newest young adult mystery that came out last year, and I had been waiting for it to come out in paperback because all of her other books I have in paperback. So I was waiting on this one, and I've been really enjoying the audiobook and the narrator for it. I will say though, I'm not enjoying it quite as much as her The Girl's Guide to Murder series. She definitely kind of set the bar pretty high with that one. But this one is still a really good one. I honestly have no idea how it's going to end. I'm kind of at the part where we're starting to figure out the reveal, what's going to happen. So we'll see if this is a good audiobook to listen to while I'm in public. Hopefully nothing too crazy happens to where I have like a visceral reaction in public to it. But I at least wanted to start the timer with you guys before I left for my errands here. And I'm actually going to be keeping the stopwatch on my iPad because I actually use my phone to record. Can't really keep the timer on that, so we're going to start it on the iPad. Here we go. Ready, and 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Oh yeah. All right, let the 24 hours begin. Okay, so it is obviously much later in the day now, so much so that the sun has disappeared. So we're working with the lighting that we got from my lamps here. I finished The Reappearance of Rachel Price, and I'm not sure how I feel about it exactly. I was a little confused by the motive of the character who actually ended up doing it in this book. So I might have to go back and reread that just because I didn't really understand what was going on. Still also trying to decide on a rating, so I might just honestly wait until the end of this video to give my final thoughts and reviews on each of the books that I read, but I at least have finished this one. I don't know if you want to call it a whole book since I only had, about 100 pages left in it, but I at least did finish this one, so we're making progress. I also realized that I did not really talk about what this book is about, so let me do that real quick. In this one, you're following 18-year-old Belle, or Annabelle, whose mother 16 years ago mysteriously disappeared, and now there's a film crew that is wanting to make a documentary about her mom's disappearance. But then a week into filming the documentary, her mom actually reappears, but Belle's not sure if her mom is entirely being truthful. I will say there was a good plot twist at the end that did get me. I was trying to have a very neutral face in Walmart. Definitely a mystery about some family drama. So if you enjoy good old family drama, you'd probably enjoy this one. I did end up pausing the timer to call Wyatt real quick because he's actually out of town at the moment. Pause the timer for that. So I am going to restart it for this evening as I start my next book, which I think I decided I'm going to do The No-Show by Beth. I actually picked up this one from my local library, and all I really know about this one is that it follows 3 different women who have completely different backgrounds, have never met before, didn't really know. I think it takes place in New York. It doesn't say, so I could be wrong about that. We'll find out eventually. Anywho, 3 women, 3 strangers, completely different backgrounds, completely different looks, personalities, but the only thing that they have in common is that they've all been stood up on Valentine's Day by the exact same guy. Which, since we are in February, which is obviously the month for Valentine's Day, I thought this would be a really appropriate read. It is also on my February TBR, which I did just do that video, and it should be up at this point. So if you want to see some of the other books that are on my February TBR, you can go ahead and go check out the video. It's also convenient because the audiobook also just became available on Libby. So I think I'm going to at least start the audiobook this evening, just kind of while I do some cleaning up as I make dinner, and we'll see how far I can get into this one before headed to bed tonight. It's about 6:30 right now, so I still have quite a bit of time this evening that I could get a decent chunk read in this one. I probably won't be able to finish it in one night, but that's okay. We can at least get started, get cracking on it. So enjoy this montage of me doing chores, I guess. Alright, we're just about 6 hours here, and I'm feeling the tired's kick in. Which is funny because it's only about 9:30 right now, and I seriously could go to bed. But I spent some time just kind of doing some cozy gaming while I was listening to the audiobook, and I made it to page 105. Okay, so first 100 pages or so of the book, which is pretty good progress, I feel like. And this book is moving a lot slower, I think, than I anticipated. You're basically following all 3 perspectives of the 3 women that are in this book, and you're just kind of getting to know their backstory a little bit and the relationship to the same guy whose name is Carter. Did find that out. And it's interesting how all 3 women have like a very different relationship with him. I honestly have no idea where it's gonna go. I don't really know what to expect. I am enjoying it. I think I'm grateful to have the audiobook. Otherwise, I think I would literally be falling asleep trying to read this right now. So it is a lot slower than I anticipated, but I am enjoying the audiobook because they have 3 different narrators for the 3 different women that are in this book. So that's at least fun and kind of helps me keep a little bit track of who's talking, whose story we're following right now. Some of the side characters I am starting to get a little confused and am having trouble keep straight who is who as far as like the friends and the family members of the 3 women, like who they are. But I think for now I'm gonna call it a night, so I'm gonna pause the timer here, get ready for bed. I might do a little bit more reading in bed, but like I said, I'm getting pretty tired here. Thankfully, I do have all day tomorrow to do even some more reading, so don't you worry, we're gonna keep going. Okay, but for night, I think I'm gonna say good night, and we'll see you in the morning. Good morning! I did not realize I accidentally filmed that last clip in slow motion, so we're trying this again. Take 2. Okay. Got the morning coffee. I got some eye patches on to try and wake the eyes up a little bit, so I know I look a little ridiculous, but it's okay. As I was trying to say in the last clip I tried to take, I made it to about page 120 last night, and then I fell asleep. So I didn't make a ton more progress since the last time we talked, but that's okay. Progress is progress. According to Goodreads, it says I'm about 35% of the way through, so we're slowly getting there. I did think that I had a church thing today, but that I actually got moved to next Saturday. So I actually have the whole day off again, which I'm so grateful for. So I definitely think I can make some progress on this book and maybe actually sit down and read it physically for a change, which I have not done in a while. I do still have a little bit more cleaning that I need to catch up on, so we will still break out the audiobook. But I'm gonna go eat some breakfast, do some quiet time, read my Bible for a little bit, and then just have a nice, slow Saturday.
It was always on fire, our house, our dreams. We were dancing on a wire, reckless it seemed. We found holes in these walls, we like what we saw. Seems so strong until it falls.
We are now at just over 13 hours here, and I just finished The No-Show by Beth Lourey, which, if I remember correctly, I was about 25% of the way through at 6 hours, so it took me roughly another 6 hours to finish this book. But to be fair, as I was listening to the audiobook, I kept pausing it when I was working on chores, answering text messages, so I definitely was getting a little distracted in those 6 hours, but we've officially finished our first book from start to finish. And there was a twist at the end of this book that I was not expecting. Obviously, I need to process my review a little bit, what I'm thinking of rating it, so I'll give my full-length review towards the end of this video. But honestly, after finding out that plot twist, I kind of wanted to go back and reread it, which is a good sign, because all of a sudden it felt like the pieces were falling into place and I finally was like understanding what was going on at the end of this book. It is a little bit heavier of a topic, so I was not expecting that, but it did add a little mystery element that I was not expecting either. So because of that, I kind of want to jump back into another mystery thriller, and I happen to have My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney on my February TBR as well, which is funny because like 2 weeks ago, I tried reading this book and got about 15% of the way through, wasn't really interested in reading it, wasn't really in a mystery mood. So it is kind of crazy how your reading mood can change from week to week. But now I'm really excited to dive back into another mystery. And what better way to do that than with one of my favorite thriller authors, and that is Miss Alice Feeney herself. I have officially read, well, except for this one, because this is her newest release, but I have read every other mystery that Alice Feeney has put out. So it will be kind of cool once I do finish this one to know that I have read every single book that an author has written. So this book follows Eden, who is an artist. She is about to have her first big gallery, moved into a new house with her husband. Life is going good. And she goes out one night for her nightly run, and when she comes back, her key doesn't work on the lock to her house, and a complete stranger answers the door claiming to be Eden's husband's wife. And Eden's husband is also saying like, who are you? Like, what are you doing here? Which sounds very intriguing for sure. I also used one of my Barnes & Noble audiobook credits to get the audiobook, mostly because Richard Armitage is one of the narrators. And honestly, I think he has the perfect voice for audiobooks, so I'm excited to listen to that one. I think there's also 2 other narrators that are playing the 2 women that are both claiming to be the husband's wife in this book. But I think for now, I'm going to pause the timer, take a little bit of a dinner break, get cleaned up a little bit, get some clean clothes on because I feel kind of gross after I did all that cleaning. I do feel well accomplished though. Like, obviously one of my goals was to reset a little bit, and I feel like I've accomplished that. But you know, sometimes when you get sweaty and grimy when you're cleaning, you just kind of want some clean clothes on a little bit. I'm going to do that, eat some dinner. I also would like to update my reading journal, so maybe we'll do that kind of while we're listening to an audiobook again. Obviously, yes, I recognize that most of the reading I've done in this video has been audiobooks, but just kind of given the stage of life that I'm in right now, I feel like that's the only way I can really get some reading done. I do typically try and read for about an hour before I go to bed. But yes, I think for the rest of the evening, I'm just planning on chilling, relaxing, doing a little self-care, and starting our next book. happy Sunday. I just got back from church here and ended up grabbing some lunch with some friends afterwards, which was really good. So I still got my church clothes on. Also ignore my tripod in the background, it's fine. But wanted to give a little quick update here. I am on page, hold on, let me grab my book. Where's it at? I'm on page 108 in My Husband's Wife. So we're making some decent progress. Okay, I'd say I'm about 30% of the way through. And timer-wise, hold on, where's my iPad? Timer-wise, whoop, there we go. Timer-wise, we're just under the 16-hour mark. So I have about, what is that, 8 hours left? I think that's correct. So 8 hours left, which means I could definitely finish My Husband's Wife and potentially start another book as well. I think the plan for this afternoon is I'm going to put some comfy clothes on, probably start a little laundry, do a little bit more reading, and then I totally forgot that today was the Super Bowl, and I did get invited to a Super Bowl party, so we might head to that later this evening. But for now, kind of do a little Sunday reset, get some comfy clothes on, and do a little bit more reading. So that's the plan.
You ain't helping me at all. The memories, they all twist and turn. I bang my head against the wall. Yeah, somehow I just never learn.
So I fear this may be turning into a sick vlog now because I just woke up with a terrible sinus infection and feel like garbage right now. Yay! Anywho, but I wanted to give you guys a quick update here. Hold on, let me clip this on my shirt. So I did finish My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney. I actually finished it, I think 2 days ago, and I already started my next read. And honestly, I enjoyed my time while I was reading it, but as soon as I moved on to my next book, I kind of completely forgot everything that happened in this book. So, not quite sure how I feel about a rating just yet. I might go back and reread maybe like the last 30 or so pages just to kind of refresh my brain a little bit. But yeah, so now we are officially done with book 3 in this video, and hold on, let me go grab the timer. We're at just over the 20-hour mark, so we have about 4 hours left of reading, and I feel like what better day to read than on a sick day. And it actually worked out because right as I finished My Husband's Wife, I ended up receiving an arc that I started, and so far I'm really enjoying it. It's called The Verdant Cage by Jess Lourey? Not sure how you say it. Anywho, but it's a YA dystopian thriller where you're following our main character, Rose, who kind of lives in this village where every single family has a job, and her family happens to be apothecaries, so they're kind of the healers of the village. But then there's like a wall that surrounds the village and ends up keeping them safe. Or so you think. The back says, for as long as 17-year-old apothecary Rose Algood can remember, the towering stone wall surrounding Noah's Valley has protected her people. No one leaves, no one fights, and no one questions why. But their paradise has been hiding its thorns. When Rose's mother becomes the valley's first murder victim and her twin brother is swiftly condemned, she alone is searching for the killer. Determined to find the truth and forced to ally with the son of her nemesis to solve the crime, Rose follows a trail of hidden messages, forbidden knowledge, and whispers of the past no one dares remember. The deeper she digs, the more certain Rose becomes that her mother's death was no accident, that the wall isn't just keeping something out, it's keeping something in. Guys, you fell down. Anywho, so I started this one, how long ago did I start it? See, this is what happens when I get sick, is my brain just loses all concept of time. Anywho, I started this one, I'm only about 50 pages into it so far, but I'm really enjoying it. It definitely reminds me a lot of The Maze Runner, which I love the series, love those movies. So it's like a mix between The Maze Runner, little sprinkling of The Giver, a little bit of Divergent in there as well. I've never actually read the Divergent series, but I remember loving, of course, The Maze Runner and The Hunger Games. But yeah, I never got into Divergent, or what was the other dystopian series? Was it called like The Fifth Wave or something like that? I can't remember. Anywho, but I'm just going to camp out on the couch today, read some of my book, and hopefully knock out these last 4 hours and make decent way in my new book here. Oh, also I forgot to mention this book comes out April 7th, and the hardcover edition actually looks super dope. So I'm really hoping that I enjoy this book because I might actually just buy the final copy. Who knows?
Always on a high, you were always on my mind, dear Wichita. The tales we were told swore they'd never grow old here in Wichita. We were down by the river all through the night, watching the stars and the city lights. Right from the start, said we never grow apart, dear Wichita. You wanted me to know, never ever let you go.
Good evening, everybody. I also have like 30 minutes left of sunlight, so hopefully we can get through all of this before the sun goes down. It has been probably about maybe 2 weeks since the last time I talked with y'all, so sorry about that. It's kind of been a crazy 2 weeks, not gonna lie. So obviously I was sick. I was out sick for a couple days. Didn't get much reading done at all. Started feeling better, went back to work, finished a completely different book, didn't enjoy that book, got into a reading slump, and have not really been able to read much since. I did finish the 24 hours, however, I did fall asleep at one point, so we stopped the timer at 31 hours, but I did complete the full 24 hours. So that is all that you missed in the last 2 weeks. But let's talk about the books that I read in this challenge, shall we? So starting off with The Reappearance of Rachel Price, which was the first book that I finished in this video. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think about it too much after I finished it. I do still really, really like Holly Jackson's writing, love her mysteries. It obviously kept me engaged. I was intrigued. I kept wanting to know how it was going to end. I think also I just kept getting so fed up with the main character. Like, I felt like she was just really rude for no reason. I understand her skepticism. That's a word, right? Yes. And also her hesitancy to reconnect with her mom, especially when her mom has been gone for so long. But I just found myself being like, girl, come on, like, give her a chance. She's trying. I understand you're still not sure and you want to keep boundaries, but you got to extend some sort of olive branch. So I just kept getting kind of annoyed with the main character. And like I said, when I initially read it, I was a little confused by the villain's motive. So I think those would be my only complaints about this book. Because of that, I think I'm going to give it a 4-star rating, which is still pretty good, I would say. It's not my favorite book by her, but I would still recommend it because there was no spice. Language was a little high, especially for a YA, but I will say our main character is 18, so it's a little bit on the more older YA side. And then some content awareness is kidnapping and attempted murder as well. Then the first book that I completed beginning to end in this challenge was The No-Show by Beth Lourey, which I did have to return that one to my library, so I don't have the physical copy anymore. So I'll just put the pictures somewhere on the screen. Kind of reiterating what I said right when I finished it, it does have a really slow beginning. I don't think I really found myself intrigued until like the 200-page mark. And then one by one, the pieces kind of start to fall into place a little bit. I did like how each main female character had a very distinct personality, like there was nothing really similar about them. And then there was, like I said earlier, a twist at the end that I was not expecting. And now knowing that, I do kind of want to go back and read it. I will say that urge to reread got less and less just over the next couple of days after finishing the book. Also with our male main character, at first I was just like, dude, what are you doing? And then you find out what actually happened and you're like, buddy, are you okay? My thoughts on him kind of almost was a complete 180 to where at first I didn't really like him, and then towards the end of the book I had so much sympathy for him as well. Overall, I think I would rate it a 3.5 stars. spice is low with it being closed door, but still having some references to intimacy. And from what I remember, language is pretty mild with maybe the use of 1 or 2 F words in there. My last book that I finished in this challenge was My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney. I definitely got on a little bit of a mystery kick. And I did really enjoy the audiobook for this one. I thought the narrators did a really good job. They also added some sound effects in there too, which was really fun to listen to. Sadly though, I just did not think about this one much after reading it. I definitely had to think over the ending because as soon as I finished this book, it kind of just left my brain a little bit. There was one character's point of view that when you first meet her, I was a little taken aback by because she's very harsh and brash, and her internal dialogue was just like, girl, you good? I think overall, I would give this one a 3.5 star. Spice was pretty medium to high. There was a couple open door scenes, as well as lots of references to intimacy. And language was also pretty high with multiple uses of the F word as well as several other curse words. Overall, not my favorite Alice Feeney book, but I will still probably continue to read her books no matter what. Then to give you an update on the last book that I picked up, which I only made it about halfway through this one, which in the beginning, as you saw, I was really excited for this one. I was really intrigued, and then it just kind of feels like we're losing the main plot point. And there's been lots of filler scenes where I'm sitting there reading it, like asking myself, hey, how is this moving the story along? Like there literally was a whole chapter of just our main character doing chores. I will probably still finish it just because I am intrigued enough by the mystery to see how it ends. I will say so far though, there has been no strong language as well as no indications to any type of spice as well. But that is all the books that I have read in this 24-hour period. Overall, not terrible reads, not great ones. I think I was secretly hoping for a 5-star, but hopefully soon I can find a 5-star because like I said, I'm in a little bit of a reading slump right now and nothing's really holding my attention. But for now, I think I'm going to say thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well as go check out my Instagram page for more bookish content, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!
We were dancing on wire. Yeah, we were dancing